Hello, and welcome to Easy English Interviews, the podcast for English language learning. My name is Chris Kent. I'm an associate professor of English as a second language in Japan. And in this podcast, I interview interesting people in easy English, so English students can practice their listening comprehension skills. Please enjoy listening to the interviews, and if you would like to check your comprehension, please look at the questions in the podcast episode notes. Or go to kjkentmsed.substack.com and click on the post for this episode. There, you can subscribe to my Substack and receive email notifications whenever a new interview is released. インタビューを楽しみください。理解度を確認したい場合は、ポッドキャストノートの質問を見るか、URL kjkentmsed.substack.com にアクセスして、このエピソードをクリックしてください。そこで私のサブスタックをサブスクライブして、新しいインタビューがリリースされるたびに電子メール通知を受け取ることができます。Okay, and now for the easy English interview. All right, so today we're going to be speaking with Samantha, and she's an English teacher here in Nagano. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Okay, so let's get right into the interview. The first thing I'd like you to do is to just kind of explain how you came to Japan and why you're here.
So my story starts when I was in high school. When I was starting my first year of high school, in America, you can choose what classes you take. And my high school offered many languages. One of them was Japanese. And that's really rare, at least where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was really interesting. And so I was like, oh, I'll take Japanese. I didn't really have any interest in Japan before, really, other than, Pokemon when I was a child. But as soon as I started Japanese, I became really interested. And my high school teacher, she lived in Japan, and she would tell us stories about her time as a teacher in Japan.
Oh.
And then in my second year of high school, I did a homestay in Japan for about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. 1 week was traveling in Japan, and 1 week was a homestay. And I had such a great experience, and I just thought, oh, I want to live in Japan. So that's kind of how I got it started, was from my teacher and that experience. So after that, I started studying Japanese more seriously. I studied Japanese in university as well and applied for different jobs. And I was first hired at an eikaiwa here in Nagano, a language school. And that's kind of how I came here. So one small decision to study Japanese when I was 14 years old made me, made my future and got me here today.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can kind of look back and see that one decision that led on to another decision, to another, that got you where you are.
Yeah, I can't believe it sometimes. I can't believe that something I decided when I was so young became my reality. So.
Yeah, well, for me, it was a university professor who suggested it. And then as soon as that idea got in my head, then here I am 27 years later. Okay. So my next question for you is, what did you study in college, and why did you choose that area of study?
So I did study Japanese, but my major was in English. So actually, I really love English, which is why teaching English in Japan was my dream. I was like, 2 things I love that I can do. So in university, I studied English. Mostly I studied creative writing. But I did do a little bit of linguistics as well. And then my minor was in Japanese.
I see. Okay. Well, my next question is, then you came to Japan and you started working. So do you think you could tell me a little bit about the good and the bad parts of your job, and maybe explain first a little bit what it is that you do here in Japan?
So first, I worked at a language school. I worked there for about 3 years. That was teaching from babies to adults. And then for the last About 8 years, I've been working at a kindergarten here in Nagano. And my class is done all in English.
Wow.
So we do from age about 4 to age 6, so 2 years, every day all in English. We are singing songs and making crafts and just doing everything that normal classes do in English. So the kind of, what is it, the difficult parts?
The good or bad.
The good and bad. Oh, the good, yeah, it's fun. Like, I love kids, and it's rare to have a job where part of your job is to paint or go outside and catch bugs or, go play tag. So, the kind of excitement and fun every day and the relationship with the students, because you have the same students every day, for like 4 or 5 hours, for 2 years, the same kids. So it's a really special relationship you can build with them. But yeah, the other side is it's so tiring. Like, I don't have as much energy as a 5-year-old. So, just trying to keep your energy and keep excited and having fun, and not getting too burnt out, in it. And there's a lot of responsibility taking care of young children, with the kids, with the parents, with the school events, and just preparations. So just the amount of responsibility and the amount of effort it takes, it's a lot, but the reward is that it's a lot of fun. So it balances out, I think.
Yeah, when I was younger, when I was still living in Shizuoka, I used to teach a lot of kids classes, and I remember them being so rewarding because you can create such a bond with the kids.
Yeah.
It's amazing how great they are. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I would fall asleep right away because I was so tired.
Yeah, my coworkers, we always joke that, we are not so old, but we're like old ladies because already 9:30, we're like, oh, time to go to bed because we're so tired already.
I understand that for sure. Okay. So talking about kids, when you were younger, what did you want to be and why?
One thing I can remember wanting to be was a veterinarian. I really like animals. And when I was a child, I would always go searching for, bugs or fish or things that I can find in the forest. And so I always had an interest in animals. So when I was really young, I thought, I want to help and save animals.
Yeah, I can remember keeping frogs in an aquarium when I was young. Used to keep, during the summertime, I would keep them and I'd buy food from the pet store to feed the frogs. Yeah. And then in the fall, I'd let them all go back into nature. So
we had a salamander.
Oh, really?
And we would feed it worms from the fishing shop. We would give him worms all the time. And yeah, that, seeing animals, I think up close, you develop that relationship with them and you can kind of get close to them like that.
Yeah. I think I probably wanted to be a veterinarian at some time. Okay, good. My next question for you is to get back to Japan here. What places have you visited in Japan, and what are your favorite places if you have any?
I've mostly traveled around kind of this area, central Japan. So I've been to Gunma and Niigata and Tokyo, but I've been down south to Kyoto and Nara as well. And my homestay was up north, in Iwate. So I spent some time there. But of the places I've been, I think Kyoto has been one of the most interesting for me. I'm really interested in temples and shrines, and just the history in Kyoto is so interesting. And every few steps you walk, you just see some kind of amazing old shrine or temple.
Right.
But I think the most beautiful place I've seen actually is more local. It's in Kamikochi. So I've been to Kamikochi maybe two or three times now, and we've gone camping, and it's almost like another world, those mountains and kind of the natural park. So that's one of the reasons I really like Nagano, is we can drive a few hours and just see this beautiful, amazing place.
Yeah, I fell in love with Nagano a long time ago, and finally got to live here.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I'm here. Okay, my next question for you is, what things do you like about Japan or the Japanese culture in particular?
Well, talking about temples and shrines, I really like the way that you can just walk around and see these things preserved. or like, for example, a really large old tree. I feel like things are really respected here and taken care of. And that makes us be able to now and in the future still be able to experience these beautiful things. I've also encountered a lot of kindness in Japan. Like I've had so many good experiences, even just local little old ladies that give you some of their garden cucumbers or something. And it's just always really touching to me because I think coming into Japan, there was a little worry, I'm clearly not Japanese. So right. I've heard some stories, about it being hard to live in Japan, especially as a woman. I was heard it can be really hard. But on the opposite, I just found it a really lovely experience and it made it really easy to live here.
Yeah, definitely. The people here, I can even remember my very first day in Japan way back when being, lost in Tokyo Station and immediately nice lady coming up to me and helping me find my train. And that was like my very first day. So I think that part of the culture is definitely wonderful, Okay, my next question is about your hobbies. So what is your hobby now and why do you do that hobby?
I feel like I have so many hobbies, but almost no time. So recently I've been trying to focus more on my hobbies. One thing I'm trying to do more is writing. I enjoy writing stories, fiction, short stories.
Oh, wow.
So I've been working on that, and my dream is to someday have at least one story published or maybe a collection of stories. So recently after work, that's what I'm doing on my computer, just trying to work and edit and write new things.
Yeah, that would be great. As soon as you publish it, let me know. I'll be the first customer.
Thank you.
Okay. My next question for you is a bit more about family. Do you have any family here in Japan?
Yes, I have one cousin. He's living down in Miyazaki right now. He moved here recently. His wife is Japanese, but they met in America. And then he flew here and they just had a baby.
Oh, great.
So I have a small family down in Miyazaki, but I haven't seen them yet because they moved here during COVID. So
I see.
But we're hoping to meet maybe sometime this summer is the plan.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. That's nice to have some family in Japan.
Yeah, it's the kind of, what are the chances, of having family here?
Okay. So maybe not family related, but it could be. But what is your plan for the future?
Yeah, right now I think I'll be in Nagano for at least a while. I got married almost 2 years ago now, so we're really thinking about what we're going to do, if we're going to start a family or, but we're just trying to take it easy now, getting through the COVID situation. But yeah, I'm thinking about what I want to do for work. I'm going to be changing jobs soon. But I just got permanent residency.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It was difficult, but so that really opened up kind of what I can do now, now that I'm here. So yeah, I'm still kind of thinking about what I'm going to do, but I'm really happy I have, my husband and we have, our cats and yeah, just living life here in Nagano for now.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to rush anything. Okay, my last question, and it's one that I ask everyone, is if you could give any advice to students who are studying English, what would that advice be?
I think when it comes to learning a language, that the motivation and the passion need to be there. I feel like with a lot of English learning in Japan, I'm sorry to say this, it looks so boring. When I was learning Japanese in school, it was so much fun. We watched movies, we did role plays. It was just, every day was interesting, and that made me want to learn it, and that's why I'm here now. I feel like a language can really change your life, but you have to go about it the right way. So I think for every person, it could be different. If you like music, try listening to music in English and understanding it, or if you like movies, try watching the movies in English. Finding what works for you and that you try to use the language, not just study it, I think is key.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think that studying something doesn't always necessarily lead to, being able to do it, but actually using it does.
Yeah.
So like you were saying with your kids that you teach, you play with them and teach them English.
Yeah.
Right? Kids love to play, so that's how they're going to learn the language. If you like music, then listening to music will help you learn the language. So I think that's very good advice.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for doing the interview.
Thank you for having me.
It was wonderful, and I think perhaps in the future, if you are free, I know you're very busy, but if you're free, I might ask you to come back and you can answer some more questions.
Yeah, anytime. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Samantha Takizawa, and I would like to say thank you very much for listening. Also, I hope that you will try the comprehension questions when you have free time so you can check your listening ability in English. And please, if you would like to be notified by email whenever a new podcast is up, please become a subscriber at kjkentmsed.substack.com. That's kjkentmsed.substack.com. If you become a paid subscriber there, you can read transcripts of the interviews and check your comprehension answers. You can also check out Easy English Interviews now at easyenglishinterviews.locals.com. Locals is Locals. All right. Thank you again, and see you next time when we will be speaking with another interesting person. Bye-bye from Easy English Interviews.